Now today I've come all the way to India. I'm actually in the Western Ghats mountain range, which is what you can see behind me. One of the things that's so typical about this area is there are tigers and leopards living here. Some of the other animals that you can find here are elephants, sloth bear, a whole range of large mammals, some of them quite dangerous, but a really interesting place. You know, one thing that's happened in India over the years, especially with the massive economic growth that they've had, is that their sort of very strict respect for nature has preserved a lot of these wild places. And unfortunately, you know, the Western Ghats are actually under threat, even though culturally they are so preservers of their nature. It's still becoming a problem to keep these wild places in existence today. So topically for me, leopards being a massive one, you know, coming all the way from Buckinghamshire here to try and do some tracking of leopards. And funnily enough, we've actually, with a guide, I'm with very experienced forest guides I'm working with at the moment, and you know, I've learnt so much, and we've actually discovered some very prominent leopard scat, which I've actually have found in Buckinghamshire as well, and I've got these guys to look at. There's always a margin for overlap with some of the characteristics of these types of evidence, but one of the biggest things of my visits to India is to stake out with camera traps areas in Goa, which is a very quite vibrant holiday destination for India, and leopards, as I research in England, being an urban animal, you know, technically in them parts of Goa they're not supposed to be there, even though they've been sighted, so they've got the same sort of status as they would in the UK. So I'm trying to camera trap them, but it's very important to come here and listen from the experts. These guys have been working with these animals all their lives, and you know, this is the sort of place you really have to come if you want first-hand knowledge on these big cats. Now, some of the environments you'll see behind me, some of these very undulating landscapes, have always been beneficial for big cats. Now, there's two main reasons for this. The first reason is many cats like undulating landscapes for the simple fact that they got a good view over their territory. Cats like to rest up during the day and survey their territory. You know, they like to get a good commanding view to see what's going on, the movements and even the sounds. You know, the commanding view is very important for a predator. You know, they like to see what's around them. This can be seen, you know, in the UK itself. A lot of the sightings happen at places like Gloucestershire, Buckinghamshire, the Chiltern Hills. You have this very undulating landscape, and it doesn't matter if it's the Western Ghats of India, you know, which is 4,000 feet, or the Chilterns, which is much less. You still have that basic fundamental. The cats like these areas because they like to have a commanding view. Another reason that undulating landscapes are so important when it comes to large cats is generally the flatter areas in today's modern world have been used for agriculture. A lot of these high elevations, they're not comfortable for, even not so high elevations like the Chilterns, they're not as comfortable for farm machinery. The soil's usually very thin because of erosion, so usually what you get is these areas just allowed for timber, if that's managed timber or just left wild. So a lot of the prey species will be in these areas, and of course the cover will be in these areas. So these undulating landscapes are always very topical for big cats. Recently Rick Minter in Somerset, the conference, showed pictures of Stroud, very undulating landscapes, and Neil Arnold talked about the big cats in Kent recently on a Facebook group, and all of these pictures that they show, you see this very undulating landscape behind with maybe urban settings, and that's usually because the cats will want that commanding view. One of the greatest things, or mysteries if you like, about the Western Ghats is that scientists have come here and it's very dense, and there's a lot of animals here which they reckon are yet to be discovered. You know, a lot of people think today with our technology, our Google Maps, you know, we view in close on a landscape from a computer desk sitting in our home. You know, some of these forests, when you walk through these forests, and I've done a lot of trekking in the last week, it's so thick, it's so dense. Even 10 meters is a massive struggle, and then you've got to watch where you put your feet. You know, there's poisonous snakes. You've really got to be aware of what you're doing. It's a very uncomfortable environment up here if you want to get a backpack on and try and move through it. You're probably more likely not to come out at the other end, to be honest with you. These landscapes are the most wilderness I've ever been to, and probably for a good reason most people will ever go to. It's just not comfortable here, you know. And big cats and leopards, they have no problem here. I mean, there's been a few animals which have been reported here which officially don't exist. There's the Pogian, which was sighted by a guy, quite a well-respected guy, biologist and ecologist, and which is a grey-coloured leopard. But there's been a lot of blogging, and people like Darren Naish and Carl Schuck have discussed this issue. And you know, you do get melanism in leopards, and you do get the cobweb leopards, leopards that do take different shades sometimes. So as a cryptozoological status, it's not 100% as clear cut. But the bottom line is, this environment, very thick. You can't just walk in and discover everything. It's not going to happen. You know, there are animals yet to be discovered. And there was recently, I think, 6 new species of frog discovered up here. And some of the guys I've spoke to here, some of the forest guys, that, I mean, they do camera trapping all the time. They get tigers. There was a tiger just only earlier this year, maybe 100 metres just down that hill, and it killed a bison. They've got the skull of it down there. So probably a tiger walked by here last night. Now, being someone that researches big cats in the UK, it's quite a reality check, really. I mean, you know, as I say, absolutely everyone I've spoke to here, leopards, they live in Mumbai, they can live in England, no problem. But when you start to try and weigh up in your head something that's, you know, that big, that's, you know, probably been here only moments ago, you know, there's not one big cat researcher in the UK that believes there's tigers in the UK. But certainly tigers come through here, and we've seen scat, and I've learnt a lot by being here. But it's going to be very interesting to see if the Western Ghats, if it's not destroyed before we discover this stuff. I really, really have hope. Some of the things I've seen, even coming through in the Jeep on the way, there's a big demonstration, loads of people, the people protesting against the government for a new building development. So that the Indians are really, really good. But if they're going to be able to stand up against capitalism and vast changes in India that I've seen since I last came here, and wasn't actually that long ago, economically, very interesting to see if these wilderness environments are still going to be there for the very underfunded people that spend their lives in these woods trying to actually discover and monitor the animals that are already here. You know, leopards, we still don't know a lot about these animals, and tigers, so let's just hope that, you know, using wilderness environments such as this and comparing them to big cat behaviour around the world, or whether that be research in England, you know, take stuff here and learn from there, and just hope that we don't destroy this place before we go in and take all the resources from it.